Have you ever wondered what lurks beneath the surface of your own mind? What hidden desires, fears, and longings are bubbling away in the depths of your unconscious, just waiting to be discovered? Today, we're diving into the fascinating and sometimes unsettling world of Carl Jung's theories about the psyche. Specifically, we're going to explore the dark truth about our psyche's hidden desires and how they shape our lives in ways we might not even realize. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded analytical psychology, believed that our unconscious mind is a vast, mysterious ocean filled with desires and fears that we often prefer to ignore. But why do we ignore them? What are we so afraid of? Jung suggested that we sense an obscure, hateful threat behind these hidden desires, something that feels dark and menacing. As soon as we feel ourselves slipping into this abyss, we instinctively erect barriers to protect ourselves from the rising flood of the unconscious. But here's the twist. By doing so, we might actually be sabotaging our own growth. Jung argued that when we constantly fight against these unconscious desires, we risk stagnation and a desiccation of the soul. Our convictions become mere platitudes, our ideals stiffen into habits, and our enthusiasm turns into automatic gestures. The water of life, as Jung poetically puts it, seeps away, leaving us dry and lifeless. So, what happens if we dare to look inward and confront these hidden desires? Jung believed that introspection, coupled with an honest appraisal of ourselves, could reveal a repulsive and sinister side. It's a daunting prospect, isn't it? But what if this descent into the depths of our psyche is not a catastrophe, but an opportunity for transformation? Jung posited that voluntary sacrifice, embracing the dark corners of our psyche, could lead to a transformation rather than destruction. It's a bit like the myth of the phoenix rising from the ashes. Everything young grows old, all beauty fades, and every truth becomes stale unless it changes. And change, according to Jung, is possible because the invisible spark that generated these truths is potent enough for infinite regeneration. But let's pause for a moment. Why would anyone willingly dive into the dark, murky waters of their own unconscious? Isn't it safer to stay on the surface, to cling to the familiar and the comfortable? Jung would argue that while it's certainly safer, it's not necessarily better. He believed that the descent into the unconscious is a necessary journey for those seeking true self-knowledge and growth. Consider this. Our civilization, despite its advances, is still swamped with evil. Jung suggested that the primitive traits we like to imagine have disappeared are, in fact, very much alive. This gruesome spectacle helps us understand what humanity has always been up against, and what it has endeavored to transform. The transformation process, for the most part, took place unconsciously, but Jung believed that conscious transformation is far more valuable. He pointed out that faith, while a powerful force for those who possess it, is not an ethical ideal for everyone. For those who need to understand before they can believe, faith alone is not enough. It's a matter of temperament, and Jung emphasized that even believers must acknowledge that reason was given to man for a purpose greater than deception. Jung's insights into the psyche are profound and complex, but they boil down to this. The unconscious mind is a treasure trove of potential. It's the bridge to all that is best in humanity. While the religious myth might not be an external truth, it is psychologically true. It provides security and inner strength, preventing us from being crushed by the monstrousness of the universe. But what about those who dare to descend into the depths of their own psyche? Jung warned that this journey is fraught with danger. The libido, or life force, can get stuck in the wonderland of the inner world, leading to a state where the individual becomes a shadow of their former self. Yet, if the libido manages to tear itself loose and rise again, something miraculous happens. The journey to the underworld becomes a plunge into the fountain of youth, and the seemingly dead libido awakens to renewed fruitfulness. This idea is beautifully illustrated in an Indian myth about Vishnu, who in a profound trance brought forth Brahma. However, a demon stole the Vedas during Vishnu's slumber, hiding them in the depths. When Vishnu awoke, he transformed into a fish, plunged into the flood, fought the demon and recaptured the Vedas. This myth symbolizes the journey of the libido into the unconscious, where it encounters primordial images and archetypes that have been enriched with individual memories. Jung argued that these introversions and regressions occur when new orientation and adaptation are necessary. The archetype constellated in such moments is always the primordial image of the need of the moment. Despite the infinite variety of life situations, they fall into typical patterns that repeat themselves. The archetypal structure of the unconscious corresponds to the average run of events, and the changes that may befall a person are variations of certain typical occurrences. But what does this mean for us, in practical terms? It means that by understanding and integrating these hidden desires and fears, we can achieve a more profound and authentic sense of self. We can break free from the chains of the past, the unconscious patterns that dictate our behavior, and rise to new heights of consciousness. Jung's theories challenge us to confront the uncomfortable truths about ourselves. They invite us to explore the depths of our psyche, to embrace the darkness within, and to emerge transformed. It's a journey that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to sacrifice the familiar for the unknown. So, is Carl Jung right about the dark truth of our psyche's hidden desires? The answer lies not in the theories themselves, but in our willingness to explore them. Are you ready to take the plunge? Are you prepared to face the darkness and discover the light that lies beyond? The choice is yours, and the journey, while daunting, promises a reward beyond measure: the discovery of your true self. As we contemplate this profound journey into the depths of our psyche, we must acknowledge the dual nature of the path ahead. It is not just a quest for self-discovery, but also a reconciliation with the fragments of our being that we have long neglected or denied. Jung emphasized that these fragments, the shadow aspects of ourselves, must be integrated rather than suppressed, for they contain the very essence of our individuality and potential for wholeness. The shadow, as Jung described, is the reservoir of our darkest impulses and instincts. It is a repository of everything we have consciously ignored or rejected about ourselves. Yet, paradoxically, it is also the source of creativity, vitality, and transformation. By confronting the shadow, we not only gain insight into our own motivations and behaviors, but also unlock a reservoir of untapped energy and potential. In practical terms, this confrontation with the shadow requires us to embrace our imperfections and contradictions, to accept that we are not purely virtuous or wholly rational beings. It is in this acceptance that we find the seeds of true empathy and compassion, not only for ourselves but for others. For in recognizing our own capacity for darkness, we become more understanding of the struggles and imperfections of those around us. Jung's work invites us to view the psyche as a landscape, rich with symbols and narratives that speak to the universal human experience. The archetypes, figures like the hero, the mother, the trickster, are not mere figments of our imagination but fundamental elements of the collective unconscious. They guide us through life's challenges, offering wisdom and perspective that transcend our individual experiences. By engaging with these archetypes, we participate in a dialogue with the deeper layers of our psyche. Dreams, myths, and creative expressions become the language through which this dialogue unfolds. In our dreams, we may encounter the wise old man or the nurturing mother, figures that represent guiding forces within us. In myths, we find reflections of our own life journeys, with the hero's trials and tribulations mirroring our personal struggles. The journey into the unconscious, then, is not a solitary endeavor. It is a shared exploration of what it means to be human, an odyssey that connects us to the broader tapestry of existence. As we navigate this inner world, we are reminded that our personal growth is intertwined with the collective evolution of humanity. Ultimately, the exploration of our psyche's hidden desires is an invitation to live more fully and authentically. It asks us to shed the masks we wear and to engage with life from a place of genuine understanding and acceptance. It is a call to embrace the complexity of our nature, to find harmony in the tension between light and dark, and to emerge as more integrated, whole individuals. In this transformative journey, we are not alone. We are part of a continuum, a lineage of seekers who have dared to ask the fundamental questions of existence. Who am I? What is my purpose? How can I contribute to the world in a meaningful way? The answers to these questions are not fixed or finite. They evolve as we evolve, shaped by our experiences, insights, and the courage to venture into the unknown. So, as you stand on the precipice of this journey, know that the path is not linear or predictable. It is a winding road, filled with challenges and revelations, but it is a path worth taking. For at the end of this journey lies the promise of self-discovery, of becoming not just who we are, but who we are meant to be.